Good morning, everybody. This is Daniel with Peace and Plenty Farms, getting out here, getting started. So the plan for today is after lunch to take that K30 over and get it inspected. I've got everything ready to go on it. Just needed lights, wipers, and the defrost. But I wanted to show you the little chicks this morning. Let's take a look and see how this is coming along in here. She's got quite a few to look after. It's about time for me to, today's going to be called separation day. I'm going to take one of these hens out. Usually 3 or 4 days of hatching, then they start to kick the little chicks out to go get something to eat. But the hens will actually start to fight here pretty soon, so I'll have to separate them. I'm probably going to take this Silky out right here because she's smaller, and there's, I think, 12 or 13 little chicks in here, and I think this big red could keep them all warm, where I don't think this little Silky can. So that is the plan for today. Let's see some chicks here. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah, there's quite a few in there. Quite a few. I don't know if we can get a count this morning or not. She is very defensive. Let's see how many we got here. I see 13. I thought there was 13. I counted last night. I'm going to leave these other eggs in here. You just never know. They might actually hatch. And I've got this door back here closed off, so they can only have just this little area right here. And this will get them out and get them over to the feed and over to the water. It's warm enough today where they can move around. I'd really like, I don't know if they're going to sit on these eggs, but I have seen them hatch 2 or 3 days after. So you can see the mixed ones. It's interesting how dark that one is and how red that one is over there. So I'm going to be interested to see what they finally turn out to be. But of course these yellowish ones are Silkies. And that's really what I wanted, and so we got mostly Silky, so that's good. I don't know. She's pretty rough on walking on them. I hope they're big enough. Definitely going to have to get one of these hens out of here. Going to do that here in just a few minutes because they're going to start, it's hard to believe, but they will actually start to fight pretty soon. So we've got that separation going, and then over here, I'm separating these rabbits out. This is my little paddy wagon I threw together. I think I'm gonna get myself another larger little yard wagon. I have one, but I could really use another one. These small ones that you can't get tires for them, they don't hold air. I got them out of, I don't know, someone gave them to me or something. But these are the extra males. They need to grow out a little bit, so I'm gonna put these up in the colony, and I'll show you a video of that later once I get them into the colony. But I'm separating them out, and I've got a cage over there, right there. You can barely see it, but there's a couple of rabbits there. They're going to actually get processed. They're way too old, and I'm just going to get those two processed right now. But these, I'm going to let them grow out in the colony for just a couple of weeks, get a little bit of meat on them, eat up that grass, and then when we put the garden in out there, I will process them. And I've been filling up these, I call this the condo over here because we've got the upper layer and then this lower level right here, and it's got plywood in there that they can rest on right there, and of course the rain gutter right there that they can lay against to get cooled off. Another piece of plywood down here, J feeder, straw, birthing box in the back. So we are just separating all the females. I'm putting all the females in here, and then I'm only going to have 2 males that younger males that I'm going to keep and start the breeding process again. All right, well, this is the opening morning video, so I'm going to ask y'all to come grow with us. And we grow by commenting, liking, and sharing, and letting me know what you think. Give me your opinion, your advice. And if you can learn from me and I can learn from you, we can all grow together. Thank you now. Okay, so I brought the paddy wagon over here. You can see right there where the rabbits were in there a few minutes ago. And I put them all in the colony. And I thought I told you about how I like to just keep an eye on them and watch them in nature and see how they like or don't like this little area here as they check it out. Maybe I'll go around on the other side where we can see it a little bit better. It's kind of nice having a staging area, which is the little chicken area right here. If you drop a rabbit, they're not going to get away because you've got them in this gate right here. But let's go around here and see what is going on. Now, these are not all, of course, these are not all brothers. There's 4 or 5 different mothers, does in here. So they may not be familiar with each other, but they're still young enough. I should have done it a little bit earlier. Okay, so there's one rabbit. He's found the exit on that pipe. So he's making his way out. Right underneath here where this rain gutter is sticking out, I need to put a couple of concrete blocks so they can climb up there and check out the water. See how there's a concrete block that he's standing on right there? He came through the tunnel and he's standing on that block. He is gonna love that green grass. I tried to put some of the rabbits up top, and I put some of them inside this birthing box, and I put one underneath here as I put them in. So I didn't put them right on top of each other. They can kind of get familiar and ease themselves around in there. Of course, I spent all day yesterday rabbit proofing and predator proofing this fence with the electric fence and with the 12-inch wire on the bottom. So I feel like it's ready for them. The black Marans, I let them out of the colony last night. Now this is their area up here, and I let them out. These are their roosting sticks right here. I let them out last night later in the evening, but I had only confined them in the colony area, this old dog kennel. I'm calling it the colony now. I'd only confined them in there for just the first part of the day, and it wasn't long enough. They couldn't find their way back. So they spent the night out last night. But this morning I was able to corral them back into the garden, and then they were able to find their way back into the colony here. And of course I've got their chicken feed and their water and all right there. Now I'm going to eliminate that water because they've got this gutter sticking out right here, and they can drink from the same water that the rabbits and all are doing. It's funny, each rabbit's different. This one's hiding. There's one over here to my left that's already out and eating and exploring. Each one has their own characteristics and personalities. These ones up top, they're checking out their area. Now they'll be able to hop from this piece of plywood, I figure, down to this birthing box with this little top on it, and then they'll be able to find their way out through that piece of pipe right there. Now if I need to chase them back in, I'm going to put a piece of fencing that'll be attached right here on this corner post, 2 by little, it's like a piece of wood right here standing up. I can just attach a fence and just like loop it out into here, and then I can chase the rabbits around and corral them in, and they'll go back in through the pipe. then I'll have them inside the cage, and I'll be able to then come in and get whichever ones I want. Some of these are ready to process. This big guy, he's ready to process, but that wasn't the norm. I'd say most of them need a couple more weeks before they're ready to process. Plus I've got other things I want to get done right now before I process, and plus they can enjoy this weeds it needs to be plowed and tilled, and I'm very, very close to plowing and tilling that. I don't know if we're going to put her little seedlings up here or not. If we're just going to I may section off that other area down there and bring the goats back up here. The weeds have gotten so tall up here, I can almost bring the goats back up here. I'm behind schedule as usual. So here, another one coming out, another one going in, finding their way out of there. Huh. That one didn't like the idea. I'm sure once it's clear, once this end is clear where this rabbit can see all the way through, he will go ahead and climb through. Like I said, these are all males here. How about that? Came back in. Of course, the J feeders are full of rabbit chow, and they have, a couple of them have sampled the rabbit chow. Well, this one's having a good time jumping around, kicking up his heels. The Marans were down at the goats. Now the goats used to be up here with the black Marans, and I moved the goats down there. And when I let the Marans out, I let them out late in the evening, so it was like 4 or 5. And I figured, an hour or two before dusk, they would remember to come back up here. But when they saw the goats, their old friends, because the goats used to be with them up here, they just couldn't leave the goats. They just couldn't get back to their coop colony area. That one rabbit that's out over there, he is in heaven. He doesn't know this is a grow out pen. These other males up on top, they just want to take their time and think about all this. Well, they got chased, around inside their cage over there when I had to catch them, and then they were put in the paddy wagon and brought up here, and then from the paddy wagon into this, and now all these new males. So they just need to slow down, take it easy. Digestive system on a rabbit is very sensitive, and it's strange environments and other rabbits and things can throw off the digestive system of these rabbits. That male on the outside over there has climbed up on top of the chicken tunnel. He just can't believe he's free. I don't know if he'll go into the chicken area. We'll have to see. Rabbits do eat chicken feed, but at least they don't topple it over and break the feeder and all that like the goats do. And the chickens, if the chickens are in their area, they will chase the rabbits out. So we'll just have to see how that works out. Well, I thought I just would do a quick little video here, checking out the rabbits getting used, just to see how they react. Some of them are going to take a nap, some of them are running around outside. This one is down here is scared to pieces. He just doesn't know what to think. He found a good hiding place. He said, I'll just hold up here for a little while. But I've got to go back and clean their cages. I want to clean their cages, make sure everybody down there is fed and watered, and then move on to the next project. I'll videotape as we go along. Thank you for watching. This will be my wrap-up video for today. This right here was the farm truck for us for a long time. When I bought this, it had a utility box on the back of it, a big red utility box. You've seen it in other videos in front of the barn. And I used that for my tools and things when I was remodeling the house, because we did a complete major remodel on that. It was definitely something to see. I wish we'd YouTubed it. But when the Mitsubishi rolled down the hill and hit the tree from me forgetting to put the parking brake on, I was searching on Marketplace and Craigslist looking for a truck, and I found this K30. Now the big thing is K30, the K stands for four-wheel drive. And this one had a dump on it, which has got a massive cylinder. It's a little bit rusty, and one day I'll find a bed and change it out, but this thing has a really massive old school dump on it. Clearly this bed is from like the 40s or 50s, it looks like. But that cylinder is just amazing piece of equipment right there. So I bought it basically as a parts vehicle. I told the guy it was in such bad shape when I got it from him that I told him all I was buying was parts. And so I paid $1,500, and that was a steal for the parts. And I brought it home, and I stripped down the old the farm truck that we had, the wheels, the tires. I painted them, cleaned them, put them on this K30. The springs, you can see the springs were broken. Both this truck had broken springs and the other truck had broken springs. But I got a new mainspring and number 8 bolts. And then between the two trucks, I completely rebuilt these, picked out the best ones and redid the leaf springs there. And of course, I took the brakes off the other truck, completely went through the axle, bearings, gaskets, everything there. The muffler system came off the other truck. The gas tank, fuel line, all of that came off of the old farm truck. Redid the floor on this one. The battery, all carburetor, distributor wires, all of that came off of this other truck. Now this engine, I'm hanging on to this engine because the other engine, just if something happens to it, I'd have a spare engine. One day I'm going to pull this engine out and we'll haul the rest of this frame away. But yeah, I sold some parts off of it, a lot of parts off of it, quite a few $100s worth of things I didn't need, frame pieces and the transmission, it was manual, sold that off of it. Put the hitch on it, I put this extra heavy duty hitch on it. This was the one thing that I got off of that Ranger, that and the tires. I paid $300 thinking there would be more parts on that Ranger I could use, but it was, the years were too different. But I did get a nice, really nice hitch off of it, and I got the extra spare set of tires. Like I said, this bed I intend to change one day, but it'll work good for hauling mulch and gravel for right now. The lights all work. I do have to put some running lights on. I'm gonna get some running lights. For a bed this size, you have to have 3 lights right here. So I've got to get those installed. But it's got a new gas tank, new gas lines. I put a new seat in it. I sanded and painted the floors. They're solid, rock solid. I think there's one small hole on the other side and one small hole in the doors. But other than that, it's good and solid. The fenders are solid. But I wanted to show you that I did actually get it inspected today. This was the last vehicle I've done nothing but vehicles for 2 years, ever since the Mighty Max Mitsubishi rolled down the hill. I've been putting together trucks trying to solve the vehicle problem around here. The Ranger's inspected, the Chevy's inspected, the Toyota T100 is inspected, and they're ready to work around here. I redid this front axle. These hubs are all brand new. The shocks are new. The gaskets, the bearings, the kingpins that are in here are all new. I took it apart, inspected them, greased them, put everything back together. Tie rod ends are the same. New headlights. I put some pieces of metal to hold this grill together a little bit, just to get by with. And lots and lots of parts went into this to get it through the inspection. I just had to do a video on how excited I am that it's finally inspected and drivable, and I can start going and getting mulch and gravel and hauling trash away from around here. And we've got this little Ranger here, which is handy around here. This property has a lot of narrow little places to get to and odds and ends, and that has air conditioning, and I can scoot around the property in that, which is nice. Let's go over here and check on the colony, see how these rabbits are doing in this colony situation. So you can see 2 of them back there. They are out enjoying the green of the garden. And then it's odd, but these males that I put on the top shelf in here, they are still just chilling right there. I guess they don't realize they can climb down yet. But I wanted to make sure that there weren't any rabbits in the chicken area. I've already had to chase them out once. So the chickens, I think they'll chase them out. I've seen them chase them out before. And there's 3, 1, 2, and there's a 3rd one right over there, out enjoying the grass, fattening them up. I want to thank everybody for watching, and keep in mind, it's about the harvest.